Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you're having a great day, and I'm glad you're here. So I have a purse on my desk because it's going to become a journal cover. And I kind of started working on it a little bit before I had to stop myself because I wanted to show you guys what I was doing. So Defemember is coming. And I have to do a little prep work before it gets started. So if you're not familiar with Defemember, I know that's a funny word. There are a couple of, so first of all, this is a thing that I follow and I've been doing it for a couple of years. And it is led by a couple of other YouTubers that do some really great junk journal art. And they're out of Austria and Germany, and they're really great. They both have videos in English, as well as I think Louisa Hensel also does hers in German as well. So, yeah, so this year, they're kind of doing things. They always try and do it a little bit different every year. And basically it's through the month of December, and you get to, they'll have prompts and things like that. They offer some freebies on their YouTube channels for people as well. I may be doing that as well. I will be participating, so I will be having lots of content throughout December, with the prompts and everything that will be going along with it. So it's really a time to challenge yourself and step outside the box and do some different things. So this year, the challenge was, or part of it is to exchange a journal with someone, and then that's where you're gonna, the journal that you get from whoever you exchange with, that's where you're going to put all of your ephemera or things that you make or page designs, whatever you do, are going to go into that journal. So I have a buddy, and we're doing an exchange, and we kind of made some decisions first. We discussed a little bit, but we have no idea what the other person is making. So I have had this purse sitting around. I grabbed it from my brother's secondhand shop when I was working there one day because it was a little bit beat up, couldn't really be sold, but I was like, man, it's so cool. So what I did was I took off one of the panels. So this panel was here, and I took off the strap because I was like, this is kind of the perfect size. So this is going to become our cover. So I just used my seam ripper and pulled it apart. So this is also showing you another way you can use up some stuff. So that was the start. Now I'm going to look here because it's about the right size that I want for this, but I might make it just a titch bigger when I add some stuff to the inside of it and change some things about the colors and stuff. So this is how big it is currently. It is, it's about 12 inches wide, a little over 12 and a quarter, 12 and a half, 12 and a half. And it is, how tall is it? It is 11. So it's kind of tall and skinny. I kind of like that, but if we take like a piece of paper to see what size it would look like. Trying to grab a piece of paper here quick. It would be about the right size for a journal. A little bit taller. So I might trim it down a little bit. Undecided yet. So this is kind of going to be a process video on this journal cover. So I probably will be fast forwarding through some stuff as I go, because I'm going to be changing some of the stuff on here. Because we decided that we were going to do neutral tones. And we decided our neutrals are going to be black and white. And then we picked an accent color for the other person. And the accent color I have decided to go with is yellow or gold, kind of, if you think about it. So I might leave in some of the colors here, but then some of these panels aren't quite the right color, so I might be changing them out. I might leave them a little bit. And then my next decision is to try and decide which is going to be the front. Is this going to be the front? Because I'm going to leave the ring on the front, but I need to decide if this is going to be the front or if this is going to be the front. I'm leaning toward this way. So I think it's going to be this way. So that means we're going to have to take this off. So I'm just going to take my seam ripper and take this part off, hopefully without getting into my fingers. So I will probably fast forward through some of this. So okay, so that is off. Now, next step is deciding how we're going to cover some of these things, or what we're going to do. So let's see. So since we're going with black and white, some of this stuff is going to be fine. So I'm going to leave, obviously this one's going to be fine. The gold one's going to be fine because that goes with our yellow. I'm going to leave the silver. I'm wondering if I can't paint these scales a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and try that. So I'm going to do some distress paint on here and see how well it sticks to this. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But at least we know we are trying something. So I have some black distress. So I'm going to do that. And then I actually got kind of a little bit inspired by some of the stuff that Louisa was doing on her journal for Barbara that is from 29 Dragonflies. So it's 29 Dragonflies and Louisa Hensel are the two YouTube channels that you can check out. And they do encourage other YouTubers to follow along, do stuff. And they don't actually require us to like link or tag them or anything like that. But I will be putting a hashtag in to follow along. So I don't know if this is going to stick on here or not to this. So we're just going to give it a go and see. Ooh, that looks kind of pretty though. I wonder if I can get that into the crease more. So that is going to cover up that really well. Let's see, maybe a paintbrush and see if we can't get a little more. So this is by Tim Holtz. It is a distress paint. Let's see how it goes on here. I have no idea if this is going to work. I've never tried it on this kind of vinyl before. So we'll see. I don't mind if there's a little hint of color coming out here and there, but I don't want as much of that purple and that blue. So we're going to be revamping some of these spots a little. Okay, that's pretty good. Not too worried about on this pink side because I think I'm going to put some fabric on that spot. Okay, that looks pretty good. Maybe a little more over here. Get in those scales a little. And then after it dries, we'll see how sturdy it'll be. Make sure it doesn't wipe off or anything. All right. Should we do it on this one too? I think we should. Let's just do it. We're just going. We're doing it. Doing it. And we'll see how that looks once we finish these. Now these daubers are really cool. You can kind of mush them around. They work really nice. Obviously design more for paper than this. Oh, see, that's a little shiny on that side. We'll see. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we know we've learned a thing. So that's one of the things you think about when you're doing junk journaling, is that if it's not working, we can find something else. But it might. I could have maybe sanded it a little too. That might have also helped. But that's how we learn, right? Sometimes if you scuff up those surfaces a little bit, they'll take paint better. I'm probably getting some paint on places I wasn't planning. Good thing I'm wearing a black shirt, right? Okay, so that is still drying. So we're gonna move on to the next kind of thing, I think, which is I want to think about what I'm going to put on the inside cover, and I have a couple options that I've grabbed. So I'm going to set this off to the side, over here, and then I'm going to think about the size we need for our inside, and I have two choices here. I wanted to see how much I have of this. So let's see. So I'm hoping I have something. Okay, yeah, I'll have enough of this, I think. I want to find some. Oh, maybe it's not tall enough. Fudge. Okay, let's look. Maybe it'll be just tall enough. Oh, it will. Okay, cool. All right, so if I chose like here, this is 13 inches right here. So this bird would end up being on the inside of the front cover, and this one would be on the back cover. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna cut it a little bigger just in case. So I'm gonna cut it at so it's 12.5. I'm gonna cut it at 14. That gives me a little wiggle room for that, because I think that is going to be the inside of the cover. I really like that because it's the black, and then it'll be our yellow. And now I want to find a couple pieces, like I should have looked to see how square this is. Oh well, it is what it is now. Actually, it's pretty good. And it is going to 11. So it's going to be just tall enough, but we're thinking of cutting the cover down just a little, so that should be okay. So that is going to be our inside cover. Now I want to find another bird to put on the front cover, or maybe a flower and a bird, because I have an idea for something. And wish I had one more of these, but this one might be okay because it's a good enough size. And then maybe one of these flowers, because what I'm thinking of doing is like those pink spots and whatnot. We will have to putting those on there, and then I'm going to do something else interesting. So let me grab the cover again. It's not dry, but I'm going to see if I can make some measure these really quick and see what we got. So this is going to be, so to the edge, it's 3.5 by 4.25. We'll go 4.5. 3.5 by 4.5. Let me write that down so I do not forget. partially used Post-it notes. And a pen would be nice. So I need one that's 3.5 by 4.5. And then I think I'm gonna leave this one because I think it's in our colorway enough with that gold sparkly. This one might be okay, that one might be okay, that one might, this one needs to go. This kind of bluish one. So that is, we'll go 2 by 3 3/8. 2 by 3 3/8, and then that one's fine. So I just have 2. I don't like that. That's 2. I think I'm gonna have to cover this sequin one, which I was hoping I could get by, and I still might. I might just layer it with some other stuff and let the pink pop through a little bit. I don't think it's going to be terrible, so we might leave that one alone. We're going to leave the silver one. So we might put one here, and we might put one here as well. But for sure, these 2 spots are getting the birds. So we'll start with those, and we'll see what else. So maybe bird up here, flower over here. Okay. So let's see if we can do that. Let's see here. So we needed, okay, he will fit 3.5. We'll cheat him this way just a little bit. 3.5 by 4.5. Yes, that will work. And then I did like that flower, but we will not get it in there. So do we have another flower? We do. Oh, hey, we've got one of these guys right on the edge over here too. Let's see if we have enough for this one. You know what? We're going to use this on this side. That will be better. It's right here. So by 4.5. Oh, it's going to cut into this flower. You know what? That might be okay because that one's smaller. 1, 2. Yes. Okay. So let's go ahead and rip this down at, let's do it at 4. That way we have some wiggle room. Okay. It's not perfect. I'm not overly bothered. So, because we've got some other stuff going on, and I'm going to distress these a little bit too. So, and 4.5. And that's the selvage edge, which I think will be nice on the edge of the journal. So we'll keep that like that. Okay, so that's that side. And then we need, it was 2 inches tall. Okay, we can do that. No, it was 2 inches wide. It was 3 3/8. That's okay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to sew those onto the journal and then I'll come back again. Okay, I didn't sew it yet because I had another idea. I'm thinking I might want to try and color this before I sew because it might get messy, because I'm going to try and use some alcohol ink to change the color of these, and I don't know if it's going to work or not. And that's all part of Defemberember, is really trying out some stuff, stepping outside your box. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try and color that first and see. So basically, since I'm using alcohol inks, I'm protecting my surface a little bit here. Because if it gets a little messy, it's going to be all right. So I'm going to try them on this and we're going to see what happens, because alcohol ink should stick to these sequins. So I'm going to try a kind of a yellow and see first, and then if that doesn't work, we can try something else. So I'm just going to put some out here. Ooh, I don't know if this is going to be the color or not. I think do I want to use a paintbrush? Sometimes that works. Okay, well, I'm seeing color happening. It is better. So maybe that'll work. Maybe I need to go with a different color. Maybe I do have to go with black, because I don't know if that's dark enough. Let's just try one dot on and see what it does. One dot as I kind of go everywhere, because, you know. And then let's see. Okay, well, it's turning it more of a sunny color. It's kind of an orange. I don't hate it. Let's see what else we got going on. You know what? Let's try this. This is a white, maybe that, and then the orange. I haven't done a lot of experimenting with alcohol inks, so we'll see. I think this is a high density white, so I really have no idea how it's gonna work or how it's gonna turn out. I'm just trying to make sure this is well shaken, because it looks like this one settles quite a bit. I probably should have made sure I shook the orange a little. No, orange is fine. Okay. Okay, it's finally shaken up. All right, I literally have no idea how this will work, so we're gonna find out. Oh, okay, well, let's maybe do the white first, because that was not what I intended. Okay, let's try that again, because now that is not what I was hoping for. Okay, let's just do this. That might have been a lot. Holy smokes, Nance, what are you doing? That was excessive. But you know what? It's not pink anymore, I guess. Where's one of my blendies here? Let's see if we can't get that smeared around better. Probably should have prepped this, but that's okay. It's part of the fun, right? At least this stuff dries fast. I do have to say that. Okay, I think we'll be able to build the color. So let's go ahead and put a little bit more white, but we're going to put it on our dauber this time and go from there. That might be better. Trying to get the edge. It's hard to work around this little thing though, so I might need to see what other kind of brush or something I have to see if I can get around this leather bit and along the edge. But we are definitely getting more white built up. Okay, so I think if we have more of a white base, that'll help to kind of fix our color scheme situation. So I feel like, I guess I could have painted this too. I guess that's always an option once we get, if this just isn't working, you know? I always got to have a backup. At least we're trying stuff, right? So that is not necessarily looking the way I wish it to be, but let's see. We'll let it dry a minute and then maybe we'll add some of the yellow and see if it's more yellow. We can always just paint it black. Alternative. Okay. So let's try the marigold and go from there. See how it works. I'm going to put a little blending solution in here too, just since it's with the white, and see if that'll help a little. I don't know. We're experimenting here. Okay, hello. That's looking better. It still definitely has a hint of pink in there, that's for sure. But I don't know that I hate it. I think I might be okay with it. I might get a second opinion. Sometimes I bounce ideas off of my partner because he kind of has a different eye for things. So sometimes his thoughts are really good and he will come up with things that I don't necessarily think about. Okay. Let's see. So that's kind of a yellowy, orangey kind of color. Who knows? I might just straight up end up painting it black. Okay, this one and this one. Okay, we'll give that a second. But here's what else I was thinking. I'm thinking I am going to cover up these. So I'm thinking, make sure I'm in frame here. Yes. Okay, so I'm thinking this dragonfly material. I'm going to wiggle under this zipper here. Like that. And then this is where the flower was going to go here, like so. Then I'm thinking this one here, like so. And then this one up here, like so. Still, okay, so now that I have that all done, and then I might put something. So this might go up here. And then I have this, which I think might go here. And then I was going to see if I have like one more word that I could stamp onto something. Otherwise, I might leave that one there and maybe that across there. Might be kind of good. I don't know. I kind of like it across that, but I also like this across, because this will be across the spine. And maybe this one up here. Or maybe I'll just leave it like that and just leave that one there. Or even better, we could do this. Like that, maybe. I don't know. Having a conundrum. Across there, maybe here. I don't know. This white next to this yellow, I'm not so sure about. Okay, so that's a thought. We need to puzzle that out. So this can get sewn on here. That can get sewn on there. That can get sewn on there. That we have to do something about. This we need to find out about the color. If we like this color or not. Okay, pause. Okay, so the consensus was it didn't look right, so we're gonna do another one, and I kind of tested it a tiny bit and then I had to stop myself. You can see I'm getting dirty. I'm gonna paint it from the back with the distress paint and go from there. So let me move this so in case that's still wet. What do I have? Do I have another blotty paper? Blotty paper. Blotty paper. Okay, so yeah, put that up. Get rid of the alcohol inks since they were a no-go. That goes up there. Okay, there. All right, so let's see. We are going to do some distress. I might, since I'm going to put a backing on this, I might peel this up a little bit more. So I kind of wanted to leave this kind of foamy backing on here because I think it'll help give a little structure to the book. So I'm just going to peel this back a little bit and then we'll sew it and glue it down again, but I want to be able to get in here. And this has a foam backy on it too. So I think I'm just going to cut that off really quick. Here's my junky scissors. So I can get in here better. Yes, okay. So we're gonna do it from the back side that way and see what happens. Like I said, the worst that can happen is we needed to go black, and we will go black. Get this all covered as much as possible. I'm gonna have to probably get in here with something else because I can't. There we go. I can get in there a little more. Okay, now we need a little on our brush. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry and we'll come back again. Okay, we are gonna work on the inside of the journal. So this is the inside fabric, and we're gonna do a little bit of stamping and maybe a little stenciling with some distress ink. So first, let's get our permanent ink on, and I'm trying to decide what I want to do. So first, I think I'm going to go with, I have a couple words that I'm going to try first and put those on and see how they go. So I want to do artist, create, and inspire. So artist, and we need to find a couple of spots. So one thing can go here. I'm thinking here, and then so there, there, and maybe here. That might look good. Yeah, let's do artist right there. That looks nice, because that is the shortest of 3 words. So I'm just using some permanent ink here. I have stamped with this before on fabric, so let's hope it goes well. I'm just pushing really hard because I want to make sure it's got good contact with the fabric. Okay, it's not as dark as I want, but it'll be okay. So artist. And now let's do create. Let's see if we can't get that really good and juicy. Okay, we're gonna do that right here. Hope it works out. Good. Okay. And then one more. I guess I don't really mind that they're not like super duper dark. I was hoping they'd be a little darker, but it is what it is. And inspire. We're going to do inspire. And that is going to go right here. And that should be in a really good spot so that we can see it really well. Trying to make sure this is really inky right about here. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So those ones are on there. Now I want to do a couple more stamp designs just as some subtle background. So let me move this off of the way. That is my cover. Okay. So I was thinking of doing some stars, these little stars in the background as well. And I'm also going to use black. So hopefully, this is like a foam stamp. I'm hoping it works really well. I'm gonna put one down here. Oh, that's nice, because I want to stitch over these. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine later and stitch on it. So I'm going to do like a little line of them right here. And one more about there. Okay, so that's 3. And I'm going to put a couple more in a couple spots. Let's do here. And maybe, boom. Boom. Just want to add some extra interest to this. That's the plan here. And boom. And then I'm going to stitch on those so that'll add another texture. Okay, so I think that might be okay. I was thinking about some alphabets. I do want to do the alphabets, I think, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to hang on to it. So, probably wondering what these stamps are. This one that I'm using is a Tim Holtz, but some of the other ones were not. So I'm just going to get this on here and go like so. Just a little subtle. Here and there. Because we're doing another couple layers of stuff as well. So let's do a little up here and maybe one down here. Okay, let's call that good. Any extra on here? Just blot off the stamp a little bit here and there. Okay, so that's good. I think that's all we need for our stamping. So set that off to the side. I had some other options available, but I was like, I kind of try and pull a few extra things just in case when I'm kind of working on one of these little projects. So I had like these other options too, and I just decided to go with these. So now I have a couple stencils. And I've got some sprays. And I have this backing paper that I'm using is actually going to be paper that I'm going to use in the journal. So I thought that would be kind of cool to use. And then I need to grab, I have a piece of paper I want to use as a blotter for my stencils when I'm done too, so that I can add some color to some of the pages that I've picked for the journal as well. So I have a blank piece of paper for that as well. Okay, so we're gonna give a little spritz, and let's do first, trying to decide which to do. So I have numbers and I have some splots, like splitchy splashies, and I have wild honey and hickory smoke. So I have a gray and a yellow, and I don't know how we're gonna go, but we're gonna see what we do. We're gonna see what we see. And I did shake these before, but I'm just giving them another quick little shake here. They should be good. Okay, so do we want yellow first and then gray? Yes, I think so. Let's do yellow first. So I'm thinking the gray is gonna be the numbers, and I'm gonna do the splotchies in the yellow. Okay, so let's see how we go here. And I'm just gonna do it in a few spots. Oh, that looks so cool. Okay, let's do down here a little bit. And then maybe a little spot up here. And maybe right in here. And down here. So much for just putting a little here and there, huh? Okay. Maybe a little something up here. Okay. All right, so that's good. I like it. So let's go ahead And I'm going to set this on here. And then I'm going to do this. Because this paper is going to be used in the journal. So I'm going to just, this is my way of starting to add some other textures to some of the pages that I'm going to put in. Okay. Okay, cool. So let's set that over here so we don't get anything else yucky. And then with this, because that might have gotten some stuff too. All right, now the gray. So we're gonna do some numbers and hickory smoke. Okay, so hickory smoke here. Oh, this is coming together really nicely. Let's go over here a little bit. And up across the top some. Nice. Where else do we need a little? Maybe here in the middle. And up here a little bit in the corner. That looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to get this edge a little overspray, no big deal. Maybe there. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that, honestly. Maybe right in here. Okay, leave it. It's good. Okay, I really like how this is looking. Now, if we can just get our front cover to be as awesome. So we might use, oh, I'm dripping, I'm dripping, I'm dripping, I'm dripping. You know what? Drip, drip, drip a little here and there. Splatteries. Little splatteries is okay. Okay, I want to bring this other paper back over here. Okay, cool. So we're adding some other stuff to our other pages as well as we go. So that can sit over here, that can sit over there. And now we have this part done. So as soon as this dries, then I'm going to go in and do a little bit of stitching here and there with the sewing machine. So I'm going to follow, I'll have to put black in my sewing machine because I want this to be black, the black stars. And I might kind of go around the words a little bit just for some added interest. Okay, so this is going to dry and then we will go from there. Okay, skipped ahead a little bit. Kind of forgot and I was just lost track of what I was doing. So here we go. I did not like how my edge was looking, so I found some trim seam binding, and so I am going to clip this all the way around the edge, then I'm going to sew it because I did not like what was happening. So just kind of excuse me, changing gears a little bit here and there and just rocking and rolling. So I'm going to finish clipping this on here and then sew it. Okay, so that's all clipped on. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and then I'm going to just stitch all the way around here. Okay, so we're back again with this part finished. So I've sewed that seam binding all the way around. So this is what we're looking like right now. I don't know if I'm going to leave this on and cut this part off yet. I haven't decided. Okay, so then next step is trying to finalize if there's any other things we want to do to the cover, which of course there is. I have some other stuff I want to add on that I might want to do before I sew the backing, the inside of the cover on, because this is how our cover turned out and I absolutely love it. It is looking so awesome. I'm definitely going to try this technique on other fabric at some point. So next step is making sure we have everything on the cover that we want before we sew that on to finish our cover. So I have set aside a few things that I kind of had pulled. So I have this. So this is just a couple pieces of fabric. This I had left over from a different sewing project, which is also fun for this journal since this is from my bestie. We're in a sewing group together. And so these stamped things went onto our project from last year. And so I had some leftovers. So I'm thinking I want to put this on here somewhere. I think I'm going to use it to cover the pink spot that we just can't get covered. And then I have this one here. I might kind of kick them sideways a little bit, give it a little more interest. And then I was digging through trying to find some other stuff that would work. And I found this. It was actually on a stack of little patches that my sister had grabbed at a swap that she was at for some stuff. So this was on here. I cut it off because I didn't want the color, but I think it'll fit right here. As you can see, I trimmed it so that it would fit. I know it's kind of covered by that, but this moves. We still see it's a bird. I'm okay with that. Then I also was thinking we need a little bit more bling. So I was digging through, trying to find some stuff. I found this gorgeous pin. And I'm thinking this would look perfect there. Then I thought, this could be fun. And then I was like, oh, well, we need a little bit of something for the back. But now I'm not so sure. And I might add it to the front as well. So this is the third piece I found. I would take off this crystal, and then I found this feather, which I thought was appropriate. So maybe let's just pop this off so we can get a better idea of what we have happening. Hopefully I can get this off. This was from, some old jewelry that I was given, some vintage pins. I think I got them from actually one of the ladies that goes to farmers market. She was cleaning out some stuff and she's just like brought me this baggie of old jewelry and stuff, and she's like, I figured you could use this. I was like, thank you. It's nice to have people like that in your life that think about you and decide, rather than just throw stuff away, find a use for it. Okay, so this is the other piece, and I don't know if we do want to put this on the front or not. I haven't decided. It's kind of fun. Maybe we could do a little bit more like that. Maybe we could add it as that. I don't know. Oh, okay. Okay, maybe. With the little feather inside here. That's kind of fun. Or let's try and flip them around. I know the colors are not the same, but we have gold in here, we have silver, so we're gonna mix and match some things. So maybe this feather up here. It's just such a different shape than everything else, so I don't know. I kind of like it the way it was, I think. The other option, because I really do like these in these black squares, so maybe we will just put it over here, because this is what I was thinking originally. And I will stitch these on, I think that's what I will do. Because this will be flatter. I might nip off the loop on there to make it lay a little bit flatter, since, you know, she's going to have to work in this journal and put stuff in. So if it's too like lumpy and bumpy, it might be a little bit difficult to work in. So with that being said, these are super lumpy and bumpy. So I had an idea. I thought about putting eyelets into the cover, so that, because these are pins, and then she could take them off while she's working in it. And then when she finishes her journal, she can put them back on. So I think that's what I'm going to do with these for this one and this one. So we'll just have to carefully try and mark where our holes are going to be to get these set and put eyelets in. So that needs to be done before, because I don't want them to go into the back or the fabric on the back. So we need to do that stuff first. So I also thought when we sew this on, we're going to use yellow. So when I sew the backing on, I'm going to do some crazy sewing around the edge to give it some more interest. So then I also thought to circle around these two pieces. So I'm going to sew on this to give it some interest, sew on this to give it some interest. This one, I might just sew a nice plain straight stitch so that this becomes like more of a focal point. And I was thinking maybe adding some lace or something behind there, because I do have some other stuff. And then I also need to think about a closure, which I've been having a hard time deciding, but I think I might go with, I clip these together, this bundle, these kind of 3 strands. I'll show them here in a second. I'm just trying to get them laid out better. These 3 strands, so I have some yellow, some black, and then a strip of that fabric, so that it can be a loose tie, so then she can completely remove it from the journal and then put it back on when she wants to later. So maybe just putting a spot where it can slip through, like putting a little spot there, or once we get our spine stitched or our signature stitched in, it could slip through that part. So that was another option. So I'm undecided as of yet. So I think I want to leave these loose, maybe throw some knots or something in the ties. I haven't decided yet. So we'll come back to that. But right, I was looking for a little piece of lace or something to go under there. Maybe some white would be good. I know I've got some stuff around here that I grabbed. I also have a couple pieces of some really vintage handmade lace that I thought might be pretty. So let's just see what we have to kind of add a little bit more interest to this. So let's try it. Okay, I do kind of like that. Or maybe we can go like this. Oh yeah, let's do that. And then we will give it some tatty edges, because I do kind of like that. So let's go about there, and then like this. And we have a couple bits there, and then I'll make those a little bit more tatty and raggedy. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Okay, now let's find something for here. And we could just tuck our pieces that we had left over like that. Like that. Oh, that's nice. Okay, let's do that. What is that? Let's do this edge maybe. Yes. Yes. Let's do it on this side. Yep. Okie doke. We like it. And then this one is kind of funky. I should have thought about that before I cut it. Oh well. Okay, yep. We're gonna do that. Wish I had 1/3 little piece. Maybe we can find something else. Maybe a little tiny piece of black. What else do I have? I have some little black trim. This is kind of nice. Okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. Go for it. And then maybe one on here too. Okay, so a little bit of black, a little bit of that. We're gonna put some yellow on here, so that'll be good. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the sewing machine. I'm gonna sew this and this, add some stitching to this guy. Because really I'm looking at, so this is gonna be the front cover, so we want this element to be unique. I have 3 birds on here, so I'm kind of going that I wish I had, so I can have 3. I kind of have 3 of these kind of things. We're going to add some stuff onto this. So odd numbers is usually better. It kind of works better for the eye. So all right, so I'm going to sew these, add some stitching, and then I will come back. Okay, I sewed these guys. So I just did a black stitch and then I switched thread and did the yellow on both of these. So you can see that. I like how they turned out. And I am going to leave the threads like that. So, okay, so next step, and I just stitched black around this little birdie here too. So next we need to mark where we're going to put our eyelets on this guy. So let's see if we can, so I'm going to set these off to the side so they're not in the way, and mark very carefully where these might go. This is going to be tricky. So I'm putting like a white dot. Hopefully this will show up there. And there. I have never done this before. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we're going to try it. Because what's the worst that can happen? Doesn't work. But it's going to be under the pin then. We can always sew the pin on if we need to. So there's the dots for that one. This one's going to be different. So here and here. Okay. So we have our dots. Now I'm going to punch them, and I have small eyelets. I have my hole punch ready. Well, this is a crocodile. You could use a regular hammer and stuff too. Let's see if we can get it lined up. Okay. Okay. Because this went through multiple layers, but I think they look all right. So let's try it and find out if they work. So open our pin. And she should be able to do this even when the other cover is on too. So through, hopefully I didn't put them too close together. And through, oh, look at that. Okay, I didn't close it yet because I'm going to take it out again so I can, because I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, but I just want to see, just doing a quick test fit to make sure it's going to work. I'm super happy. So just think about that now. We have an option for later on to try something different. I mean, and once she has it on and everything, if she goes through the fabric or wants to go through the fabric, that's up to her. But at least this way, we have a durable, sturdy spot for the pins to go. Okay, I am thrilled with that idea. So now, if you have like a really nice pin or something and you want to decide you want to wear it and then put it back on your journal, or have a little mini journal thing to match yourself, you can do it. Look at that. Fun idea. Okay, next, let's get this one on here because I'm going to have to hand sew this one. This is not happening any other way except for that. So let's get that on. So I'm going to take these guys off for now, so we don't have that extra stuff in our way, which was the whole point of making them like this, so we can take them off. And then maybe I should put like a little spot for them to go when they're not on the cover. That's a good idea. Maybe on the dangle or something. I don't know. It's a good idea. Just a thought. All right, so we're going to sew this on. I think I need to take off this because it's a little bulky. So do I have a nipper? I do. Hopefully this one is going to be sturdy enough to get in there. Ooh, okay. She's flying. And then I might sand that a little bit. Just because it's a little sharp. So I think I need something sturdier than a piece of that. Let's see, I think I had, or I used to have, a little file. Wherever I put that. Aha, I do. So I used to do some metalworking and stuff and some jewelry making. So this is actually a little jeweler's file. Oh, that's way better. Still one little sharp spot. Still, there we go. I think that is, nothing will catch or poke now. Okie doke. So let's get this stitched on here. So I'm going to do a quick clear up so I have some space so my thread doesn't get caught on stuff. Then we'll stitch this on, then we'll glue the things on. No, we'll stitch this, stitch the back, glue, and then we should be pretty much done with the cover. Okay, so I'll come back in a minute. It'll be like phew, magic. Okay, let's get this stitched on here. I got my stuff ready. So I'm just going to slide this under here. So this is just a piece of foam so that I can poke some holes through this to make it easier to sew. And I need to double check where this is going. I think this can go over top. Is that going to need to go over top of that? Maybe. Otherwise I can scooch that down. Just thinking about where to put the stitches. Maybe I'll leave it so I can scooch it under and I'll stitch across these spots. Okay, so let's move this for now. I'm going to scooch it up a little bit. Or do I want, okay, double check. Or do we just full on embrace that? We might do. We might do. Okay, well, sometimes we gotta change our plan. All right, so I know I need a hole here and here. And I think I am gonna go across here and maybe here and here. So then here. And I'll wait to do this for a moment. So we'll get those on there first and then we'll come back. Okay, and then I have a needle and I have some thread. I'm going with this. I think this is some kind of embroidery thread I've had around. I will probably use it for stitching in the signature as well. All right, so then do we want the knots on the front or the knots on the back? I think we want the knots on the back, and I'm going to tie it off. So now I'll probably do some fast forwarding while I stitch. Okay, so I think I am going to have to glue this down a little bit before I stitch this. It might be easier. It might help hold this a little bit. So let's do it. So I'm just going to take some fabric tack and get that on there. Whoa. So we can get this where it needs to go. I think I'll just put it a little bit. Well, okay. Here we are doing it. We're doing a thing. Okay, yay. All right, so that part is done. Now, brooches will go on after we sew. I'm going to put a little fabric fix in the middle of this, and then we might be able to just go ahead and take it to the sewing machine. This bit, I wonder, can you see through it? No, but we will. I'm going to glue this down as well, I think. Okay, fabric fix it is. It's just right. Okay, so I was just thinking that in order for her to get these in here easily and not have any issues, we might want to put something to kind of give a slide. And this is just, it's not quite as heavy as I want. Let me see if I've got some cardboard. Okay, I found some heavier cardstock. So I'm just going to cut a little like square to put on each one of these. Okay. So I'm just worried about like the slide of those pins going through those eyelets. So I just thought, let's make something a little bit stiffer to help with that. And so I just got some black cardstock. The only thing I need to look at is where this folds, because I don't want that cardstock to hit where our center is. Okay, so this might need to get a little bit more narrow, or I can just scooch it. Oof, that's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight. But I want them to be nice and sturdy too. All right, oh, I should see, is it gonna show through the fabric? Not enough to matter. Okay, so I'm just gonna do this. We're gonna glue these down just with Fabric Fix. They're gonna be sandwiched in between the fabric too. So I'm just making like a frame. So this is just, these kind of things when they come up, like this happens pretty regularly when I'm working on stuff. If you're working on a thing that, you know, is different than anything you've done before, sometimes it really pays off to just, let's see, try things, because you just don't know how it's gonna go. I just really need to see where that seam is, where that fold line's gonna be. I think it's fine. Okay. Because I want this to be able to be usable and interesting. And it's definitely going to be different because I've never seen this before. So, I don't know. And who knows, she might never take these off. She might leave them on the whole time. But I just thought if it was my journal and I'm going to be working in it, do I want these things on the cover all the time? Probably not, because it would be a little bit hard to work in. So, and I know in a lot of my journals, I make what's called a book board. So it's something you can slide in between your pages to give you a flatter surface. But you don't always want that kind of stuff either. It's okay that it's gooing out, because now we're going to put that fabric on here too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some squiggles. Because I'm sewing it on, I'm not overly worried about, oh man, if this is going to stay on super well, because it is going to get sewn as well. But I do want to get this on here. I'm getting really low on my Fabric Fix. Now that is probably going to have to dry before we can take it to the sewing machine. So while that is happening, I'm going to give a quick measure of what we have here, because I have to make the signature and I have stuff pulled, but they're not down to size. So that is what I'm going to do next. All right, so let's give it a measure here. And we want the pages to stay mostly inside of what our journal is going to be. So I'm going to measure from the inside of the black area. I should make sure I'm in frame. Probably move up a little. Okay, so inside the black area. So what we got is about 10.5. I need to write this down or I will forget. If you're wondering why some of my Post-its have numbers on them, it's because sometimes when I'm working on a journal, if I'm pulling out pages, I want to remember which order they were in, but I reuse stuff as much as possible. So 10.5. No, 10.5 would be too much. 10.25 tall. And then this is going to be interesting. So 12. So we have some very interesting heights here. So 12 plus those are going to get folded. And when you fold stuff, it pushes it out. So we're probably looking more at like 11.5. Let's go with that. I think that'll be a better number because this is bulky, so it's going to take up some room. Then when pages fold, they kind of push out slightly when you have a page folded. So if you're measuring your pages before they go into your journal, you have to take some of that stuff into account. So if this is sitting at 12 right now, I'm going to take this down to 11.5. I might go a little bit smaller for the inside pages of the journal, if that makes sense, because they're the ones that are going to push out the most. So 11.5, but we can go smaller. Okay, so now we have our measurements and we'll go from there. What I'll probably do is I'm going to make a separate video that will be the signature. Otherwise, this is going to be a massively long video, even though I'm trying to fast forward and cut stuff out and abbreviate things as much as possible. But I wanted to show you the whole process for what we're doing here. Because when you're doing things like this, you don't always know what hiccups you're going to have or where your creativity is going to go and take you different places. Because think about what this looked like in the beginning. Very different from what we have happening now. So, okay. So next thing I'm going to do when this dries, I'm going to throw stitching around here. So I will come back when that stitching is done. Okay, I went ahead and I did that stitching. And here is our finished product. See, I just did some kind of crazy yellow stitching all the way around. And so now it is pretty much done. So if we fold it, here's what it looks like folded. So this is the front half. Let's go ahead and put those pins back on. And so then next it is figuring out what we want to do for the closure. Wow. Okay. I have to say I'm very happy with the choice of putting that cardboard back there. Big, huge difference. And since this is flexible enough, I can still close the pin so it's safe. Safe. Okay, so that goes there. And then our other one. Same thing. It actually goes through really well. So happy with how we decided to do these. And then so that's closed. Okay, so that is that. And then all it will be stitching our signature in. So here's a good look at that back. Okay, and deciding what we want to do for closure. I might have to wait until after the signature's in to decide how that's going to go or what we want to do with that. Because like I had said, I was thinking about having it so it could tuck underneath the binding. And I do think that even though this is a bunch of stuff, I really like how this works and goes on here. And so that could get wrapped around a couple times. I might throw some beads on this, have it so they can tuck, maybe wrap them around a little bit or weave them or braid them a little in spots. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, this is definitely going to be what we're going to use for the closure because I do really, really like it. And then it'll be trying to figure out, maybe I'll do another video on a spine or a little, normally it would be a spine dangle, but we have this wonderful loop here. So we're going to make a cover dangle, I guess, and add some stuff on here. I might tie a couple pieces of lace and things like that. So there we have it, our finished, or mostly finished, junk journal for Defemberember. And I will be giving this to my bestie this weekend because I'm going to visit her. So by the time you see this video, it will have come and gone already. So, because today is what? Recording this on the 9th, I think. Yeah. So ahead of the game, she's going to be giving me mine. So I'll do a little flip through of the one that she gave as well. She gave to me to work in. So there you have it. We got it done. And there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and start following along with the Defemberember stuff that's going to be going on. And I will add a hashtag and stuff like that. And let me know if you have any questions. Okay? And first and foremost, you guys, art with your heart. Have a great day.